Surprise! Okay. Okay. So, okay. So we are going to finish. Oh, look, I got IRC. Okay, hey, hey, Rook. Um, weird. I just said, hey, Rook, and it says, um, operator. I must have hit some sort of mod key or something. Okay. Anyways, anywho, anyhow, stream is everything. Okay. Welcome, 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 everyone. All right. I'm just looking on the side because that's where that I have a second monitor here. I'll show you real quick. You can't really see it though because I don't have the webcam up right now. But if you look there, or actually, I can just do it real quickly. See? Oh, it's staring into the abyss. So like I have a bunch of stuff over. I got like, Redot and IRC, and I don't want to show too much because I'm not trying to show you a bunch of people. And then this is Restream, and then these are the actual individual deals here. So, all right, let's actually switch that back to the desktop here, and then I will go ahead and. So that's what I'm always looking at, anyways. Not that it matters that much, but that's what I'm always looking at when I'm looking at to the side here. Um, okay, so let us uh, let us continue with. Okay, so now up here, I didn't actually add the cards. I didn't add the. Let's see. But you know what? I think I had started to add some pages here, and I didn't end up saving it. I think. Yeah. Dang. Gentlemanly vampire sleuthing. Uh, I'm not sure if I did. You know what? Let's do something here. Let's open a new window, and we are going to go back into yesterday's stream and see where I was at. Okay, so let's go here. Actually, let's do this first. Um, I'm going to go off screen so I just get into the page, but then I'll show you the page um, there in a sec here. Let's go to your videos, and let's go into live, and we'll check out yesterday's live stream. Yeah, sure. Thanks. Uh, Off topic. Now, so I'm streaming now early today. So do I say it 5 times with a underscore 2 underscore where is the deal? Where is the thing? Uh, there we go. Oh, okay. I didn't catch on. uh, I didn't really get it, but since I'm on chapter 5, I guess that's why you did 5. That's why you did. Okay. Okay. Anyways, streaming, guys. I'm streaming. Okay. Okay, but I am streaming. Okay. Let me get back to the thing. You know the thing. Okay, read that discussion. Uh, oh, okay. So what I was gonna do is I was gonna go back to this old version here. We're gonna close that, and actually let's expand this to the screen. Now, I'm gonna go right into the end because I think. Well, there's that nice picture. That's a Grok pulled up because it's some woman on a bed there. But okay, I guess I didn't. I thought I had the couple of deals on here, but I guess I hadn't gotten that far yet. So that just answers my question, anyways. And we're let's see. I usually have it. I don't know. We could try Chat GPT because I usually am doing that. I did Grok for an extra thing. I kind of switch. I tend to switch back and forth or whatever. Maybe I can just leave it this blank page though or something. I guess it's not really that important. But what is important is my notes. And so let's bring up my notes. We're gonna try to kick this thing in high gear. I'm doing half an hour early. Do you always vocalize what you type even when not streaming? uh, No, actually, I don't. I don't usually. Well, actually, sometimes I'll find myself doing that a little bit now because I tend to do it a lot on the streams now. So, not really, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I do vocalize what I type now. It's all part of making the let's see. Uh, well, actually, maybe I should bring Grok up because that was also a uh, let's see. Table chairs expected. Desk that doubles as vanity. Very common. Dedicated vanity. All right. Actually, let's pull up the Grokster here. Um. Anyways, Ergo, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit early today because we're probably gonna go to the store later, and so instead of ending at 3:30, I'll end at 3 o'clock. Still the same amount of time, and I've just about wasted half an hour. Not really, but sort of. in any case, okay, let's the hotel room thing. Okay, and all the way down to, because I did have dialogue. There's that redhead there. Uh, escalation. Okay. Progressive logic, standalone. Time's up for the day. I think I was trying to figure out what clues, what things would lead him to actually lead the count to actually follow the imposter princess to the wine cellar. And uh, yeah. Uh, so one was there's a dress with the wine spill on it, but see the whole wine thing is she drinks a lot of wine, and that's going to be pretty evident. There's going to be some stuff laying around that you know that isn't necessarily going to trigger her to go down to the wine cellar, or that's not going to clue the player in to letting the count follow her down to the wine cellar. Um, I think okay, so if this is a full point and click, basically what I would be doing is he'd be doing stuff in the room, and she would go down just for various different reasons. There'd be different reasons, and any number of times, so it gives the player enough time to say, oh, maybe I should follow her, you know. But I also kind of want to clue in to the fact that he could follow her. Maybe it's something that she says though, something about she's seen the princess or something, but she doesn't tell her. She doesn't say where the princess is, right? Uh, okay, so there's two things going on. One is I'm thinking of what the player is going to read in this phase one, and then the second thing I'm thinking of is when I actually turn this into a fully interactive adventure game. How is it going to play out? You know, I might say some stuff in a few pages. You know, like eventually he gets the idea to follow her down to the wine cellar or whatever. But then if you're thinking about in the future when it's interactive, you do things in the room. Uh, you can hide again or whatever when she comes back, and um, you keep doing this um, until you get the idea to follow her. And you probably don't want the count to leave either. So even though he can fly right back through the window, you're just gonna set it up to where it stays there. But you can also switch in between characters. So if you get stuck there, you don't know what to do. You go to a different character. And honestly, I didn't think about it, but I should also think if I'm gonna do player characters, multiple player characters, I should find a way of salting clues throughout the different characters. I mean, I did do one. I did do the one is the Beauty and the Beast and Unicorn Sign Language book exchange thing. Hebert accidentally does a thing where it swaps the books, so it swaps Beauty and the Beast um, John's actual library in our realm, and then swaps it with the Unicorn Sign Language from Enchanted Lands, from Fairy God or from Wizard University to be exact, and that is sort of a setup, like it sort of semi explains what happened to Sir William when he was turned into a unicorn. The story is similar, right? And you don't actually need to know that little tidbit to be able to understand it because you probably would already know the story. But the idea is it's a clue from some other part for some other character, right? And anyways, I should kind of try to think think if there are any clues some other characters could drop um, that would hint, you know. Anyways, let's figure this out. I guess I mean I until I get like a bunch of people in the chats on the stream actually giving me ideas. I'll have to continue to either brainstorm with traditional methods, which is like literally writing out you write out a word and then you circle it and then you add branches and then you write other words that you think are related or that come to mind, and it's that whole brainstorming thing. Um, I don't know if that would be very efficient or if that would be a help just for solving something like this. It might be. Maybe some of you that end up watching or watch later, um, maybe you can tell me. Um, Give me a quick second. I think I just got something that I had ordered. The Christmas money, Christmas stuff here. Give me a quick second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get something in the mail. I just got like a text, and I figured I'd go out and check it. Um, check the mail. The mail actually came early today, believe it or not. Normally comes in after I don't know, uh, after 2 or 3. Sometimes it can be as early as 1. It only goes early on Saturdays usually, and it's not Saturday, it's Friday. So they actually got the mail in early today, which is cool. And it's part of my Christmas stuff. Yeah. Okay. So all right. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT this dealy, and let's see here. Okay. Stream early, of course. Now is the usual time I've been streaming. Although considered early now if you are watching now. Okay, so all right, let's go back. Let's go back to the daily. Okay, Friday morning, 11:38, 7 Eastern. I'm trying to figure out what kind of clue would cause the count to want to follow the fake princess down to the wine cellar. Now, it's not adequate to say that she drinks wine and loves her wine and is a little tipsy. That's pretty well established. But the count is trying to find the real princess when he stumbles upon her room. So, any ideas? Unless, so right now it's just a text. It's just text. It's just text. Which means I'll just be putting some text in the page. The count figures maybe he should follow the imposter. Something of this nature. But when I get to the final phases where it's a fully interactive point and click adventure, graphic adventure. I always say graphic adventure because, you know, it used to be, they didn't used to call it interactive fiction. They call it, at first they called them just adventure games. Why? Because that's all you had was text, really. I mean, you had some early graphics, but the adventure, the original Crowther and Woods adventure was on like a mainframe, like a terminal or something. I forget the exact computer it was, but and then eventually it spilled out into other computers, and then finally when we started getting home computers, desktop practically computers, like the Commodore 64, the Apple II, or whatever. Then they started making it in there because they originally didn't have that many graphics capabilities. The C64 had good graphics capabilities. I'm not saying that it's not that, but I'm just saying that the Apple II and the Commodore 64 and those early computers had very, very limited graphic capabilities. So a lot of games were still text, right? And we call them text adventures to different. We would kind of call them text adventures, differentiate them from graphic adventures at the time. And the first technically graphic adventure was Mystery House by Sierra. They were called Online Systems. Later Sierra Online. That made King's Quest and Space Quest and those kind of games. Leisure Shoot Larry and those. Um, but Ken and Roberta Williams made Mystery House for online systems back when they were still putting floppy disk into like Ziploc bags or plastic bags, and then going to their local computer stores to ask them if they could hang them, if they could sell them, you know. And the way I understood it, it actually sold pretty well for what it was. But it was the first dealie, and so I still call them graphic adventures if they're not interactive fiction, if they're not a text adventure right now, because we still have that distinction. Anyways, when I get to the phases, whereas a fully when I get to the final phase, whereas a fully, I guess where there's a fully interactive point and click graphic adventure, um, then you'll be in the room doing stuff, and the princess, the fake princess, will periodically leave the room and then come back with some fresh wine. This may be all that's necessary. But I remember playing The Secret of Monkey Island, where you go into a shop, I think to buy a shovel. And he would periodically leave depending on what dialogue options were said. And I would always think it was because I was supposed to search the shop, when really you're supposed to follow him to find the sword master. Okay, we'll see what it says there here. The significance of the Monkey Island thing is I didn't know I could follow him for like weeks until someone told me. I think I might have saw a walkthrough on a BBS maybe. I don't remember exactly where I got the idea to actually the shopkeeper. Shopkeeper leaves on Serve Master dialogue. Players around the shop follow him to win. Wine runs are perfect parallel. But the killer clue flips it to tail her now. Follow trigger a fresh half-spilled to-do list on the roundtable poster exit. It's casual, visual public ties Count inspects deduction. She's off to the cellar for more than Merlot must pursue. It's casual, visible, public, ties one. Okay. Spawns after she leaves. First, second time randomized. No prior wine. Love alone suffices. Links or exits. Comedy. Wine run number 3. Cellar gag. Okay. Variant. Pick one. Randomize for replays. Yeah, I'm not gonna deal with randomize and stuff because this is just a kind of a basic thing, and this is all uh a deal here. To do blitz. Morbino. Check real P ropes. Cellar slip. Bed draped. Dress pocket. Cellar key and pouch. Visit. Add wine to gags. The silk spills more than stains to the vault. Lipstick memo. Back from. Okay. I don't know what this rope thing is. Hmm. Postures on route. Okay. Grok is under heavy usage. Yeah, it does that thing again too. Um, what was the last thing I said to you? I even should say before then. Oh, it's not even letting me do it. Oh, that's crazy. See, Grok is doing this thing now, under heavy usage right now. I didn't used to do that. Now, it could be under heavy usage, but, okay, fine. I'll go back to ChatGPT. Friday, 11:49 a.m. Eastern, January 9th, 2026. Okay. So, I'm trying to figure out what would be the proper clue to have. I actually thought I was using ChatGPT, but whatever. Grok can go jump in a binary lake or something, or a quantum lake or whatever. So I'm trying to figure out what would be the proper clue to have. That would make the count follow the fake princess down to the wine cellar. Okay. I mean, she's going to go down several times for various reasons. Either she doesn't like the particular wine, or she's finished a bottle, or the count spills it, so she leaves the room. Let's see what. Okay, this is ChatGPT, so I have to redo the question here. Good evening, Rook. I hope you are doing well over there in the UK. evening time for you. It's almost 5 o'clock. Is it almost 5 o'clock or almost 6 o'clock? I think it's almost 5 o'clock where you're at. Anyways, yeah, good evening. Even though it's still not still not afternoon yet here. It's 10 till noon, so I'm not even in the afternoon. Um, but good evening nonetheless. Either she doesn't, or she finishes by, or the count spells it, so she leaves the room. So the obvious action is to get her to leave, so he can search the room. However, he'll need to follow the fake one to get to the real one. When I played The Secret of Monkey Island, you could get the shopkeeper to leave and then search through his store, but he always came back, and I didn't know you were supposed to follow him for weeks until I think someone told me, or I might have found a walkthrough on a BBS or something. I probably just missed whatever clue they gave for me to follow. But so I don't know if it's just enough that the fake princess leaves and then comes back with a new wine. It could be enough, considering especially if I clue the player in, that the count notices she always leaves empty-handed and always comes back with a full bottle. So, any suggestions for what clues I could use that would clue in the count to actually follow her without telling the count where the real princess is? Okay, let's see if ChatGPT does any better here. Don't turn around. Uh-oh. The commissar's in town. Uh-oh. Okay, so the answer is obvious. It's what someone told you in 1991. Yeah, it might have been 1992. I don't know if I got we had gotten the CD-ROM, and so it was the CD-ROM version, and I think it must have been already after Monkey Island had been sold and stuff, and I think this was just a game. I got a couple of games and a couple of CDs that came with my first CD-ROM player, so it might have been 1992, but around the same time, you know. You're thinking of exactly the right thing here. The player and the count need a fair nudge, not a neon arrow saying follow her, dummy. Let's break this. I'm kind of a little iffy on the personalities, you know. They should not really have a personality unless you tell them to. And then when you tell them to, you can have any kind of personality you want. You can make them snarky, give them nice, make them effusive, whatever, you know. You can make it female, you can make it male or whatever, or sound that ways. Uh, but it should be a straight up just factual, like you're reading a computer basically. Okay. Core principle, adventure game law 3.5, number 3.5. Okay, the player will not assume they should follow an NPC unless something about the NPC's behavior is weird, repeatable, or suspicious. Leaving the room once, totally normal. Leaving the room twice, mildly curious. Leaving the room 3 times with the same excuse and the same outcome. Vampire eyebrow raise. Okay, so like I said, it might still be enough. It might be enough because I'm still thinking in the future. I'm thinking of when it's fully interactive and you're playing it, and you come in and just like the shopkeeper in Monkey Island, you try to search things, and in fact, I was not going. Well, I'm not going to do it on here in the text version, but maybe in the fully interactive version, maybe he'll click on. Maybe you can click on the dresser or the bathroom or whatever, and he'll go. Maybe he'll start to do it, and then the fake princess comes back in. So whenever he tries to click on something that's kind of private, he doesn't get to do it. Or I could just have him say that he doesn't, he's being a gentleman and he doesn't do that. But anyways, strong, fair clue types. They always come back with line pattern. This is your safest Monkey Island approved clue. Okay. Have the count comment on the pattern, and not the solution. Curious, she never returns empty-handed. One bottle gone, another appears as if summoned. Either the seller's very close or very important. After the second or third trip, the count's internal logic clicks. If the wine keeps returning, perhaps she is the constant. Works especially well if she never brings a glass, she never asks for help, and the bottle's always a different vintage than what was before. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too, because that's what it's gonna do. Like she'll come back, right? You'll be searching for some or looking at something, and then she'll pop back in there and she'll mention this new vintage. Ooh, I like this one. This one's, I couldn't even find this before. She never brings a glass. She never asks for help. Uh, I thought we were actually in off topic. I'm sorry. Uh, oh, that's because I'm on Redot discussion, not in actually in either off topic or off topic like two or whatever. Oh, look, another Blender engine. It's definitely an interesting idea. Okay. Do most of the work in Blender, then use Godot for the game runtime export. I wonder just how far you could take it. That's not a bad idea, I guess. Yeah, almost. Um, you almost could do something like merge Godot into Blender. Although I'd rather merge Redot into Blender, not Godot. But anyways, as far as the Blender game engine, what you do is you have a few people that can um, work with the interface kind of thing, and then you can build levels in Blender, which is kind of what you do anyways. You build levels in Blender, and then you edit all your scripts and stuff, and it's using the Godot actual Godot engine to run it, and then you can actually view it with Eevee because it's real time, right? And so it actually be kind of a perfect fit. You could actually get like you get two open source projects together, and you could really uh, they could still work on their respective projects, right? And you still have a few people that will actually work it on the interfacing part of it, the part that makes Blender, you know, Blender, and people can still use it standalone if they want to. But if they rather edit, create a game in Blender, so Blender game engine would actually be Godot under the hood. That's not actually a bad idea. That's a pretty good idea, but nobody would probably do that unless lots of people ask for it. Okay, the wine itself is a clue. Let the bottle do the talking. Labels dusty, cold, cellar marked, condensation like it came from underground, a different year, a different color every time. The count might think No one keeps this many bottles upstairs. Legends the following, not searching harder. Timing weirdness, underrated but powerful. She leaves too quickly. She runs out of wine and immediately excuses herself. She barely finishes the count's sentence before heading out. She already knows exactly where to go. The count. She's not gonna know that the count's there. But I get the idea. Well rehearsed. Um, Footsteps fade downward. Dark explode. I got innovate echo, clink, or crook pop later. He doesn't know what is downstairs. Only that downstairs exists. Makes him feel like investigation, not stalking. Fake princess slips, but not too much. Tiny mistake, blinking, you'll miss it. She says again when referring to the cellar. She mentions a cooler bottle. Without explanation, she knows the count prefers a wine that she should know about. She's not going to talk to the count. She's not going to know he's there. The room itself offers nothing new. This is a key for fairness. After she leaves, the count searches politely, finds nothing conclusive. The game explicitly tells the player whatever the truth is, it isn't here. Uh, the only unexplored option is where she keeps going. Um, you don't need a big moment, just quiet decision. Something like, this room yields no secrets, yet the wine does not stop coming. Count considers falling, hesitates. Following a lady down the staircase is not improper, is it? No, perfectly vertical. Economy softens the action, reassures the player. Okay. Um, yeah, and like I said, I use the AI as a sort of a springboard, like not actually using it directly. Um, there is one part where she's talking to her friend Mabel via the two-way magic mirror, and she might say something about being hired. Maybe that's it. Um, I had an idea earlier where she is talking to a friend via two-way magic mirror, and I get in a lot of bad collision detection as the NPC yells at me. WTF are you doing? I say out loud, trying to figure out the F play in testing this level design. Who the F play testing this design? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I had an idea where she's talking in front of me, and she lets it slip that she was hired to take the princess's place. Although that's uh, that's pretty much a spoiler. Um, it's pretty much asking. Okay, that in itself wouldn't suggest she's in the wine cellar. Except this is some epic fail. I escape a building on fire, run away into the forest. Yet since the NPCs can't follow me and get my character suddenly bursts into flames alone in the forest. Comedy gold. Did AI design this? I don't know. Thunder, whatever year. I don't know what your. Uh, I guess it must be for work. Maybe I don't know if he does. Work or something. Anyways, I should get back to the video. Okay. Aim not discarded. You're right. By itself, it doesn't point in the cylinder. It loads gun so that the wine chips pull the trigger. She says she was hired. Cat now knows she's an imposter. She knows she's working for someone. She knows she's maintaining a routine. But crucially, he still doesn't know where the real princess is. He still needs evidence. Very odd behavior afterward becomes meaningful. Before the marriage slip, wine trips equals quirky behavior. After the marriage slip, wine trips equals part of the job. That's the mental shift, not indulgence logistics. That's a pivot. Make the slip incomplete. This is important to let her finish her thought cleanly. I was hired to. Uh, okay. Okay. To be clear, the fake princess doesn't know the count is there. He turns into a bat and sort of hides and watches until she leaves. Then he turns back into a man and then can explore the room. Okay, so she can say all kinds of stuff, but I don't want to do that in the game, right? Um, okay, so normally I quit at 1, and today I'm going to quit at 12:30 because I'm doing a half hour earlier because we're going to probably go to the store after, probably. uh, okay. She wipes the wine drips off the bottle before leaving. She sets the bottle down in the same spot every time. She glances at the door before leaving, but not in period and timing. She comes while waiting for the bottle to empty enough. Comedy button. I would have switched vintages by now. Yeah, because in that case, yeah. Okay. She can fully say, I was hired to. I don't know if she say she's hired for the princess. Maybe she isn't. Um, maybe she. Maybe they don't tell her everything, right? Um, maybe villains don't tell her everything, but she could mention she was hired to take the place of the princess. Uh, Maybe she's hired to decoy the princess. Anonymous. and then about getting all the wine she can drink. I guess if she, I guess if she goes, if she leaves enough time. Well, okay. Okay. So then the next clue could be the fact that she leaves frequently, usually for different reasons. Either he doesn't like the wine, or she's empty, or in the case of the count actually filling the bottle to make her leave, and she comes back with a different wine. Maybe she mentions it or something. Okay. Ah. But your over analytical game developer mind won't let you just enjoy it. The quality of AI. Yeah, exactly. Uh, Two-layer clue. Um, Dialogue clue. A mere conversation gives the count and the player misleading but useful truth. They hired me to be a decoy, so the real princess could stay anonymous. She is not the princess. She believes the real princess is merely elsewhere, not in prison. She has no idea where the real princess actually is, so the count learns she's not guarding the secret. She doesn't have it. Good. No villain monologue, no oopsie slip. The behavioral tell. The wine behavior recontextualizes everything. She keeps leaving for different excuses at odd intervals, always returning with a different bottle. Crucially, she doesn't behave like someone indulging. She behaves like someone resupplying. Where the count's suspicion sharpens. The moment the count puts it together internally aloud, if you want a little part decode, does not need this much wine. A guard might, or anonymous yes, but anonymous where? He still doesn't know. Following her becomes the only rational move. Okay. This is just a setup, though. I mean, this setup stuff is fine, and I can use that. But, uh, oh, where you can get blood. Okay. Oh, this avoids the Monkey Island trap. Um, okay. That's good. I just don't want the player. This will mostly be only an issue with the later phases. To just sit there wondering what the heck to do next when she could simply open the door and find the princess walking off. I'm sort of thinking maybe he picks up a sort of, what do you call it, like a directory or a map? A directory or map to the different wines in the wine cellar. It's not a huge wine cellar, but to find the correct one, she would need some sort of index or something. Whatever you would call that. the wait state problem here. The goal is not to tell the player what to do, but quietly and remove the possibility of doing nothing. Doing nothing feels valid. Eventually getting once, but then waiting becomes a strategy, even if you never intended to be one. Players will absolutely test that. Some will wait for, some will assume the game is bugged, some will assume they are bugged. So you need a time pressure proxy that nudges action without taking clock. Wine index, you could just call it the wine list or whatever, but the directory, small wine directory or seller index works because it explains why she doesn't just wander. It gives the count new information, gives a clear next logical action. He sees it, thinks she's guessing, she's following instructions. This reframes your trips as purposeful, not indulgent. What to call it? Pick whatever fits your tone best. Seller ledger, old world, uh, slightly official, wine registry. Wine registry might seller index. Sommelier's reference, fancy but still innocent. This presents to just open the door. Here's the quiet chain of logic the player absorbs. She leaves the room repeatedly. She consults something first. The count finds the directory. It references specific seller locations or racks. In fact, the thing about the directory too is she could be so well versed in the seller now that she can just go where she wants, and that's why she actually leaves the index on the table or on the vanity, whatever. At that point, the count is waiting in the room. It makes less sense than following her. The player thinks, "Oh, she's not just going out; she's going somewhere specific. That means if I don't follow, I'll miss it." Um, Minimal implementation. Bottom line. Okay. So is that enough? What do you think? If you're watching this, it doesn't matter when you're watching it. If you're watching it live right now, or you're watching it later on the VOD, um, is it enough that there is a directory to the wines in the wine cellar? You know, wine cellar directory or something. Um, wine registry, Grand Enchanted line. Be a map. What do you normally call that? I mean, let's say you're going to a grocery store and you don't know where anything is, but I guess it's called a directory, isn't it? I guess that's called a directory. It's not a map per se, but is directing you to the right section. You're right. It's not really a map. It's a normal, non-fancy, instantly understood word directory. I need to find the thing term. That said, depending on the tone here, clean fits what they imply. Directory, neutral, modern, immediately understood. Index, slightly bookish, implies looking things up. Guide, friendly, a little narrative. I could call it the guide. Uh, Ledger, registry. Wine directory, seller index, wine guide. Then wine directory lies. Um, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so basically, consumers, hotel guests do not normally get to see the layout of the wine cellar. So this would be a document only the help might have, so they can find the appropriate wines to serve in the dining room or room service. It's a it's a kind of a little important detail, really, basically. Um, doop ba-doop 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 doop ba-doop 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 boop boop. Guests don't normally see it. The count finding it instantly tells them she's not behaving like she has access. She can. That's called document is then in the world. The longer directory in the book sentence becomes staff only reference. Good names that quietly imply that seller service ledger, wine service index, seller inventory guide, seller inventory guide. Okay, sommeliers index, seller allocation sheet, wine service directory. Okay. Guests don't have this. She's using it. She keeps leaving the room. How to frame with that exposition. Curious. Guests are not usually issued seller guides. Boom. Okay, I guess I could do it something like that. Yes. I do like the wine service directory. Yeah, because it's not like a normal guest would get a wine list, of a list of the wines that they have. But the help, assuming that the help doesn't actually know how the how the wines are laid out or how they're arranged, might need it, right? So it's like for some help they hire on, um when they first hire them on, they give them this little seller guide. Yeah. I can even explain the seller guide a bit. Honey, guests don't usually uh, receive a seller guide. And look, each section is color coded. Um, and even the year, um, is based on height level. I'm just making this thing up about the height level thing, because you have these like huge racks. I'd imagine that in some cases there'd be some ladders for a particularly tall rack. Let me ask: do wine racks are wine Are wine racks ever big enough to need a ladder to reach? This is one of those things where you have to know a lot about everything, a little bit about everything, right? I mean, obviously, I don't have to learn about wine tasting, or anything. I just gotta need to know just enough so that logically this can fit in there. Can be tall enough to require light, especially in old hotels, historic estates, castles, monasteries, anywhere that takes wine way too seriously, which checks every box for Enchanted lands. How this works. Large wine cellars often use floor-to-ceiling racks, rolling ladders on rails, vertical organization by vintage or rarity. So this line works perfectly. Each section is color-coded, and even the year appears to correspond with the height. That's not weird. That's pretentious wine logic. The best kind of logic for comedy. While I just have your story, it implies staff training is required. The seller isn't guest friendly. Someone fetching wine needs a reference. Fake princess navigating this is extra suspicious. Also climbing ladders equals isolated areas. Excellent place to hide a chained princess. Okay, well yeah, but they're not gonna hide her up above. They're gonna tie her to like a giant wine cask. Totally unintentional. Maybe narrative perfect. Absolutely. Naturally, the older the wine, the farther one must climb to reach it. And that's the whole reason that I even suggested that. This has been clearly designed by someone who enjoys watching servants wobble. Dry humor, very vampire approved. Ladders and wine cellars real. Height-based organization plausible. Staff-only guide makes sense. Your clues strong, logical, and funny. You're not stretched from reality. Okay. All right. So now I've got a definite plan of action here. Okay, he's still gonna look in the three places. He's gonna look on the vanity. He's gonna look on the what I think it was Grok, but called it the bistro table. Basically, it's just it's a convenience table, so you can play cards, read something, or just eat a meal or whatever. Um, just basically those are general purpose, and they kind of sit by the bed, or they sit by the window, and they usually have a couple of chairs, right? Hmm. Okay, I think I have enough ammo here to pull the trigger. Okay, thanks. Time up uh, for this session. I need to take a break, and when I get back, I should implement this bit. Okay, and I'll go ahead and do this thing here. The fake. I'm the new. Yeah, sure. I'm the new Sid Meier. Yeah, right. The fake princess. You should name your game like that too. Like what? Like what? Like Sid Meier's Pirates or Civilization or something, or Ufgood's game title. Yeah, Ufgood's Enchanted Lands. Maybe. That might not be a bad idea, actually. Um, the fake princess go leaves for various reasons. Comes back with a fresh bottle of wine. Um, the count finds a wine cellar guide, noting guests don't usually find it, don't usually have it, don't usually get it. And then can get the idea to follow her since she appears to go down to the wine cellar to get new wine. This leads the count to finding the princess. Okay, I gotta save that, and I gotta go to break now. So I'll see you in an hour if you're on wherever you're calling from, whatever country or state or whatever. Maybe. Anyways, so thanks for watching. Um, Here, let me switch to the thank you screen. Thank you for watching part one, and I'll see you in an hour. And um, yeah, I'll see you in an hour, and hopefully I'll be able to finish chapter 5. So thanks a lot, and I guess I'll see you in an hour.